spy in Britain was basically a turncoat for the good guys. You see how much I know about history here. Like, wow, the people I'm friends with are really, really interesting. And in lieu of that, you have a moment where you're like, I am not very interesting. Multiple friends who could just create things like tables and furniture out of wood in their garage, and it's just like breathing to them. It's just they just do it. And then I have friends who are like state level athletes in high school. Some did stuff in college. I'm just like, I actually really like being friends with these people because it makes my life way more interesting and it spurs me on to be interesting. And I'm like, I'm gonna go be interesting. So I'm gonna go buy this book. It's called Double Cross, and it's about World War II and all the spies that basically like they had turned all the Nazi spies in Britain in preparation for D-Day without realizing like every single spy in Britain was basically a turncoat for the good guys. You see how much I know about history here. And so it's like following the life of these 5 specific spies who were really, really critical and making sure that D-Day worked out properly. Basically had to deceive Hitler about where the big strike would happen. They had to continue to have him deceived even after it started. And I get like, I don't know, like 50 pages into it. I'm like, I'm just not attaching to this story. I'm just like, it's cool to talk about here, but in the moment I'm reading it, I'm just like, nah, it just doesn't pull my fancy. Because I read like, I was a huge gamer growing up, so I like read World of Warcraft and played World of Warcraft and like fantasy books, like like the Inherited series, and I wasn't even into the cool fantasy stuff like Narnia and like C.S. Lewis and Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. I never read like any of the big 3 because it was just too dense for me, and I guess I wasn't that intelligent. So I'm like, I'm friends with all these people, and I'm like, man, these people make my lives way more interesting. And they're like, how are you friends with all these people? Because even now, like, I'd rather be reading a book about business or playing Modern Warfare or like just connecting with my brothers by playing League of Legends on the weekend. And I just feel like the least interesting human being out of everyone I know. And sometimes I wonder, like, am I the business person in the circle? Like, is that my interesting quality? And I'm like, this is kind of boring. It's like counting and solving problems, and it's interesting to me, but in terms of like things you could talk about, there's no table at the end of what I'm doing. There's no program that can play chess against you. You know? I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's Saturday afternoon, and so far today, I woke up at 4 a.m. because my son couldn't stop coughing, and he ate popcorn and watched Winnie the Pooh, and I wrote contracts for clients. But I love it. You know, and that's the craziest part. Like, when you meet someone who loves what they're doing, who is crazy about what they're doing, and has zero interest to you, I feel like that's probably who I am to a lot of the people I know. I don't know. I've loved exercising. Like, fitness wasn't usually going to be a part of my platform at all, but I think that in terms of what we have to look at on a day-to-day basis, in terms of what we have that's like something to struggle against, something for us to be stressed by. We you know, everyone has their different stresses, different seasons in life. At one point I was in college and working full-time for basically minimum wage, and my stress was I never got any sleep. And now my stress is I have to go, it's a lot of mental stress, big problems that need to be solved. They need deep thinking, and so it's not a lot of 1 hour of my time here, get paid for that hour. It's solving bigger problems. And so I exercise a lot, and I never thought fitness would be a part of my platform, but it's just by the nature of me kind of recording as I go throughout my day. I don't know, I'm just kind of getting into things like cutting and bulking. I've never really done that before, mainly because I was too lazy or undisciplined to actually cut. So I don't know, I think it's weird when you're the least interesting person that you know, but you find a lot of satisfaction in your life. I guess it's a good place to be, but it just feels weird. Busy day today. day. No parking spots at the YMCA.